everyone, this is Maja Bing Balaj from Pakistan, and you're watching my YouTube channel Insani Ittihad, which aims to invoke a little bit of humanity in all of us through awareness and understanding. So I have been very busy on lots of stuff, and that's why I was unable to put up videos, despite the fact that I have made some videos on different topics and I wanted to upload them. But this very short and quick video was for the condemnation. First and foremostly, I, with the strongest word, condemn the terror attack which happened on Shabbos in Jerusalem, in East Jerusalem, on a synagogue with innocent people praying in the synagogue on the holiest day of the week. And not only that, it was the International Day for Remembering Holocaust, and they couldn't have found any other day to do this horrific act. And it's extremely saddening and disappointing. And I would shut those people who would say, well, Israeli Israeli security forces had done the, security operation in Jenin to kill those terrorists. Hello. Like in Pakistan, our forces went to get it and do aerial operations with F-16s and, fighter jets in northern areas of Pakistan, where it's the Muslim army. The Pakistani army is a so-called Muslim Islamic army, and it was going inside its own territory in the tribal areas to get those Pakistani Talibans who were attacking our children and innocent people, unarmed people, not the security. They did target security forces as well, and they did kill security forces children in APS Army Public School, but in general they had soft targeted civilian targets, people without having any weapons to protect themselves or kill these bastards. But whatever, if our Pakistani army is justified to kill terrorists like Taliban, why can't Jewish army be allowed to do an operation against Islamic Jihad, which is internationally recognized terror group, not just in Israel, all around the world? And not just Jewish people, Jewish civilians are of threat from the Islamic Jihad, but any non-Muslim entity is threatened by these terrorists who just do this terror in the name of Islam, and they do it in the name of Islam, and they say that killing Jews and killing Christians and killing non-Muslims who support Israel or who support the United States of America and the international community to have this order and peace among different communities, different faith communities especially, are to be attacked. And it doesn't matter if they are just civilian and they have nothing to do with any conflict whatsoever, or even if they are not the citizen of Israel or US, if they're just Christians living in EU or Christians living in countries which are Islamic countries, they can target them also. And Israeli security forces had every right, when they got the intelligence, to do this operation. And God knows, after the operation and this heavy blow, that's heavy blow that Israeli security forces had given these terrorist group, after that intel, after this operation, they still managed to get this 21-year-old living in East Jerusalem to go have an attack, go and do this attack on these Israeli civilians who were just praying in the synagogue. God knows, if that operation and that intel was not available to the Israeli security forces, They could have done a massive terror attack and multiple terror attacks. So justifying that just because there was a security operation in Jenin, then that's why this poor guy decided that I'm going to kill some people who are, unarmed and who probably don't even serve in the, I don't know if it was the Orthodox synagogue, or I don't know how many people who were praying there on Shabbat who actually did a military service, or had family members who were doing military service. So this is something really unjustified, and one cannot. And then again, afterwards, after this attack, Hamas and Islamic Jihad is actually praising this 21-year-old, which is very again inhumane and below dignity. That I mean, it's not f that militarily there was a fight between Israeli army and the Palestinian army, and the Palestinian army won. No, that didn't happen. That's why these people don't dare to go in front of the Israeli security forces, because they will get a bullet in the middle of their eyes. So they choose civilians, and especially people who are religious people. And I mean, and all those scholars which say Jews are our brothers, and we have nothing against Jews, and we have everything against the Israeli government and Israeli security forces. Well, you're targeting the civilian Jews between, if you don't get I'm giving you the memo. So you're not attacking the government, you're not attacking the security forces, because they're kicking your ass big time. You're actually killing the Jews, who are religious Jews, whom you say that, oh, we have nothing to do with the religious Jews. They're actually very nice, and they're our brothers and this and that. So don't do this double trick and double face propaganda drama. Get your country in Jordan and get the hell out of Israel, seriously. Because just like Pakistani Taliban don't belong here in Pakistan, Palestinians also don't belong in Israel. They just pack their bags and go to. And Israeli forces, for heaven's sakes, if you want to do a security operation, do it massively. Don't care about the international people saying human rights violation. They are going to put resolution against Israel of human rights violation anyway. Even if you don't do the operation, if you let these terrorists live, they would still think that Israel is a human rights violator and all the evils come from it. So don't worry about those human rights things and all that crap. When you do an operation, do it massively, even if you have to kill the entire villages and kill every single terrorist. I mean, just imagine, I was listening to this news, ironically, to my utter shock, Geo News, which is a Pakistani Urdu news channel, it is reporting this, or to my utter shock, it is reporting that 7 people died in the Jewish holy place, a synagogue, and it was shown as a breaking news. Thank God, but after the news progresses, and it is very sarcastic. For me, it's not funny, and I'm not laughing on this. I'm actually very angry. So at the end of it, they start this breaking news with this news that 7 people died in a religious, Jewish religious place. And then they end it with, it is because Israel, and then they, don't forget to mention that Israeli security agencies did a security operation in Jenin, and killed so and so 10 people, or whatever. There were 10 terrorists between. And also in another incident, they say that they killed a 17-year-old guy, a 17-year-old boy, who was carrying a toy gun. I mean, how can you know that he was carrying a toy gun? What if he was actually holding a gun to kill people, and he was part of the terrorists? I mean, this guy was only 4 years older than him. He's 21, the terrorist who did the synagogue attack. So he was 17. Just because he's a poor 17-year-old teenager who doesn't know what a gun, real gun or a fake gun looks like, and he was, poor guy, he was just practicing with the toy gun, and look at this evil Israeli forces, they came in and they killed him. I mean, as if they don't know the difference. I mean, they are a professional army. They know if you're carrying a toy gun or you're carrying a real gun. And just because you're 17 doesn't mean that you will not hold a real gun. Because he is just, the 21-year-old successfully killed, 7 people in a synagogue. And you successfully managed to, recruit it and train it and then place him successfully right after there have been few weeks that this operation, Janine operation, not even, I think few weeks. Maybe I'm not listening to news, but anyway, few weeks. Even if it's like few weeks, after few weeks, you managed to plant this guy and execute this whole thing successfully, as in the people died. So this is, for me, it's also very disappointing that how the hell, when the Israeli forces conducted a military operation, a counter-terrorist operation in Jenin, how the hell this one terrorist managed to do this. So that means we're not ruthless enough. We are skipping some loopholes that these teenagers or these kids are penetrating into the system. The Israeli security forces need to do more. Please, for heaven's sake, put the human rights into a dustbin and do real massive attacks against Hamas, against Islamic Jihad, until each and every single terrorist is eliminated from the Holy Land. And even if it's 17-year-old, 14-year-old, or 12-year-old, no exceptions. Terrorists have no leniency. This ideology has to die, and it has to die now. Not just from the Holy Land, first and foremostly from the Holy Land, and then from the entire planet. So, yeah. Thank you very much for watching, and take care of yourself. And peace can only come if we are able to stand up against the evil of terrorism, racism, and hate by and large. So thank you. Think about it. Thank you.